Hello and welcome to the show. I'm here on Forza 7 today, starting a new builds series. You see, while I've enjoyed building the track cars, the truth is that series was conceived a while ago, and it was conceived long before I realised we could do Rallycross, or a version of Rallycross in Forza 7. And I think building Rallycross cars might be more interesting. I'll be honest, and I am quite curious to see how different cars are going to react. Track Day Beasts, the Datsun was quicker than I expected. I didn't quite realise we were only going to be able to really get the very high-end supercars. I wanted a series that would allow the higher-end cars to actually compete in it. However, yeah, it did mean that nothing else quite stood a chance. However, for this one, there are going to be, well, yeah, some differences. It's going to be built to S-Class. The vehicles to the top of S-Class, and they must be all-wheel drive. They're going to keep their standard engines if at all possible. If the standard engine will get the car to the top of S-Class, that is what it will be. Run with engine swaps will only be used in cars that are not powerful enough to get to the top of S. The circuit is going to involve dirt, and I don't know how different cars are going to react. We know the circuit works. We did the Rallycross video a while ago, and that was very, very good fun to race in, but how a variety of cars are going to work, I don't know. But we first, of course, need a benchmark time, and what better vehicle to use than this Audi Quattro? It is completely standard, well, as completely standard as a rally car ever gets, with the exception of the wings. They are the, I guess, alternate aero parts for the car. Keeps it the same PI as the stock version, but they're just madder. And when you give me an option to run madder wings, that is the one that I am going to take. Now, the circuit we are going to be using is the Virginia International Raceway South layout, although with a couple of our own alterations. The cars are going to have 5 laps around this circuit to set their lap time. We are looking for lap times probably getting into the 160s, maybe? I think that's about the fastest times we were seeing from the cars in the Rallycross video we did, and they were mostly around the top of S-Class. In fact, one of the Civics was just into R-Class, so that is the sort of lap times we might expect to see from these cars. But again, as I said, quite how anything is going to react to what we are asking it to do, I am not sure. The Quattro should be good, though. The Quattro should be good. So we follow the normal line of the circuit for a little while. Over this crest is where things change, because rather than taking the circuit normally, we dive to the left. We will head through this kind of tyre bundle chicane. Now, if we were racing it, the Joker lap would take part around that tarmac section, but as this is just hot lapping for a Rallycross car, we are not using the Joker lap. We then head off at the next corner around these tyre bundles. I've overdone that a little bit, and then back on to the circuit, and a terrible kind of grass hairpin there, and then we will finish off the rest of the lap and as normal, and that will be that. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit longer than a normal Rallycross circuit, and it has the unique characteristics of this very long straight. It's not 100% perfect, but it is about the only place where we can do this, and where we can do this sort of racing, I say properly, but as properly as I possibly can on Forza 7. The straight, I think, will throw up some interesting conundrums for builds, because there is potential for a fair bit of time to be made up, a fair bit of speed to be made up down that straight, but then there's also potential, I think, for a lot of speed to be lost through this grass section, and how we're going to get cars working as best as possible through here. I look forward to trying to find out. I do. The Quattro here is actually very nice to drive, as you would expect. It's much nicer to drive than my makeshift Hyundai. Now, if we can get, that's the line we want. We want to basically get as straighter an exit out of the grass sections as we can. It's very easy to overdrive the entrance, get yourself caught up in trouble. That was unbelievably close to the tyre bundle. I had a little heart attack. say I had a little heart attack. I had quite a major heart attack going through there all of a sudden. I thought we were going to splatter the Quattro. Nevertheless, we made it through all of that safely. So our first flying lap will be a 16.3 from the Audi. That is, I don't think, too bad a lap time whatsoever. How late dare we break into turn 1? It's a very nasty turn 1 here. Not only is the corner completely blind and you're travelling at great speed, it also gets considerably tighter. The further around the corner it goes, the tighter it gets. And it's very, very easy to make a slight mistake. Oh, we have hit that tyre bundle. There's another thing I was about to mention as well. It's easy to make a slight mistake at the first corner, running wide on the exit. Another thing that is easy to do is when the car transitions onto the grass, of course, you suddenly have a lot less grip. And as we saw there, I carried a bit too much speed onto the grass and I didn't quite have as much steering as I was expecting, and we didn't get dragged as much as we sort of just understeered off into the tyre bundles. And the tyre bundles are not forgiving on Forza. You hit one of those and you are going to know about it. You are going to know about it. Oh god, there's some two-wheel action going on there. Quite a lot. And then we're out wide as well. Now, we can get away with running wide through that corner onto the grass. There is plenty of runoff area. We just don't want to be doing that. It's going to cost us lap time exploring that part of the circuit. Of course, with the majority of this track being tarmac, we're going to be wanting things like race tyres. You know, we're not sure whether the sport tyres and so on will potentially be better out on the dirt, but for the three corners on the dirt, you're probably going to be advantageous to have more grip on, you know, on the tarmac. Although building cars to S-Class, some of the faster cars will not have the PI perhaps necessary to have full-on race tyres. So there'll probably be a mix of compounds being run. Again, as I said, the cars will all be all-wheel drive for the sort of thing that we are doing out here. This is going to be a very, very sideways run. That's too much into there. Now, when we were running the Rallycross event itself, we did see some cars going for big sideways moments into that hairpin. If you get it spot on, there is a way to get it through there very quickly, but it's incredibly easy to make a mistake and lose. I mean, we lost a second going through that hairpin because we chucked it a little bit too much. I will personally prefer a neat and tidier line through there. They're still going to be sliding quite a lot because on grass, well, Forza's not quite designed for the cars on grass, and on the grass, we, well, can't get the front end turned in very well, so there will be a fair amount of chucking cars into that corner to try and get the front end around a very, very tight hairpin. But there is a fine line. There is a fine line between getting the front end turned and either overdoing it or sending the car in a slightly wonky direction. Again, mistakes very, very easy to make as we head onto this dirt section once more. I think I'm a little wide on the approach. Got to be very careful. That section, it doesn't look like much of a corner there, but that is a real easy place to bugger up and lose a lot of time. Now, on towards the hairpin we go. It is neat enough. Again, straighten up for that exit. Focus on getting the good run out the other side. That felt pretty good. And indeed we are up in terms of time. Can we keep that speed around this very, very fast left-hander? Yeah, pretty decent. 2 more corners to go. They kind of all meld into one. It's a... I like that corner when you get it right, but it takes a little while to get the hang of that one. The run towards the line, it will be quicker for the Quattro. There we go. That's our benchmark. A 1:15.8 from the Audi. I think that's a solid sort of lap time. Wonder what our other cars are going to be able to do here. So, the first car to take on this challenge is going to be the Kia Stinger. I am very glad indeed to see this car added in to Forza 7. It might not be the very fastest four-door saloon car out there, but I really quite like the Stinger. So, naturally, it seems as good place as any to start with building a Rallycross car. Now, it does begin as a C-Class vehicle, a relatively high C-Class vehicle, but that does give us plenty of room to play around with in terms of PI. I think we're... maybe what we'll do. Okay, I was going to say, I think we're going to want race tyres, but perhaps the best idea here. Front tyre widths, 275. Sound like a good idea. Rear tyre widths, 305s as well. We will put on the car. Bigger tyre widths in Forza, better grip. Pretty much is one of the most PI effective upgrades that you can do. We will make sure the car is all-wheel drive, because that is going to make a big change to the PI of the vehicles. So yeah, we will give it the all-wheel drive system. I'm definitely going to want to get rid of some weight. It's a little bit of a heavy car, this one, at almost £4,000 after all of that. And again, when I say it's a bit of a heavy car, we're talking in relative terms to cars in Forza here. That's what we're measuring the vehicles against. Roll cage, we're probably going to want that chassis rigidity. It might be a modern car, this one, but I think every little is going to help, basically. Weight reduction will get us down to £3,300. That's better. Again, though, maybe the heavier cars might be happier on the dirt. Maybe that'll be the way it works. We just don't know. We just don't know what it's going to do on Forza. I'm going to go for front aero, while around the slow dirt section, I'm going to go for full aero, sorry, while around the slow dirt sections, that's not going to help too much. We've still got some fast tarmac corners, and I think the downforce, the added grip will outweigh anything the drag might do. Tyre-wise, I think race tyres, full rate reduction is definitely going to be the way to go with this car. We will go, sorry, we have done that, we will go grab the likes of a diff for the car. Gearbox wise, actually not a bad gearbox to begin with. We probably don't have to worry. I reckon it's top speed 171 in standard guys, so you probably don't have to worry too much about the car running out of steam down that back straight. Oh, game's sorry, got a little bit laggy on me. Now for the engine, I don't know if we're going to get to top of S-Class with this, although it does look like it probably will. Especially if we go camshafts and some big old turbos. We're up to 573 horsepower. So these cars are not going to be slow. These cars are not going to be slow whatsoever. In all of this, it's going to pass 600 horsepower. It is much heavier, of course, don't forget, than the Quattro, but that is a nice amount of power, although not quite going to sneak that bit more power in. Oh, we already added in that one. Can we sneak in the valves? Yes, we can. 633 of the horsepowers in this. So having a look just in case. Sometimes you can get one of these upgrades in and it doesn't add on the PI. But it looks like it will in this case. So, 633 horsepower, £3,300 for the Kia. Should have some good acceleration, should have some good straight line speed. On the dirt, it's quite a big car. Maybe it'll struggle with the more technical sections. We'll have to go find out. Well, the Kia is here on the start line at Virginia, a 1:15.8. The time to try and beat. I have a sneaky suspicion the Quattro will probably have this, but you never know. Yeah, you never know, especially in a series like this in which I don't quite know what's going to be advantageous in terms of building the cars. We could have some surprises. I'm hoping we will have some surprises on our way through this series. Oh no, we've been that on turn one. Once you fall off that circuit at turn one, really difficult to get the car back on. Oh, we're going to fall off at the next corner. Oh dear. This is not the bit of the grass that we wanted to be going on. Initially, that chicane over there, my thoughts for this circuit was to use that chicane over there and have a joke lap in a different place. However, opted against it due to the very narrow nature of where you kind of head back towards the main circuit. If we were going to be doing some racing around here, it's just too narrow, really. I mean, these are not exactly wide gaps, but the other one was just a little bit too narrow for me to be happy racing the cars around. It was just asking for trouble. But basically, hence why it was not used. We do not have the same level of grip in this as we saw from the Quattro. Now, I am not massively surprised, you know, not massively surprised by that. However, it means if we're going to go faster, we're going to have to make time up somewhere. Acceleration, straight line speed, perhaps, where the Kia is going to be a little stronger. In that first lap, completely irrelevant because we took a complete wrong turn, and of course it's from a standing start. Oh, we're going to have to be earlier on the brakes than the Quattro. We'll get it stopped for turn 1. Oh, we're exploring around the exit of turn 1 as well. Don't do it again. Even all-wheel drive, it's still wanting to be a little bit of an oversteery car. Let's brake earlier for this crest. There's a lot of blind corners on this. I mean, the normal circuit, there's a lot of blind corners. It doesn't actually make much difference with what we're doing here. There's a lot of times, especially in S-Class cars, you're going to be braking long before you ever actually see what you are braking for. Makes it a tough circuit to learn. It does make it a tough circuit to learn. Now, let's chuck it around the dirt hairpin. Don't really want it sliding too much. Again, it's all about getting that straight exit, getting out of those corners as quickly as we possibly can. Not really very confident through there. Nope, definitely not the line we want to be taking. Oh, that's going to be a little bit. No, we can bring it back and actually get a pretty decent line. I thought we were going to be leaving that a little too late to turn in, but we actually get a half decent acceleration out the other side. 17.2 for the Kia on its first lap here. There's definitely room for improvement. I'm not sure 15.8 is doable, but we will have to we'll have to do our very, very best. It's not bad through turn 1. I think trying to shrug off enough speed is the trick with this car, especially having gone from, you know, the Quattro that could be very, very late on the brakes. Really got to get this car slowed down for the corners. Now, can we be neat and tidy across the dirt? That was pretty good, actually. Didn't waste time with big slides onto the tarmac. We don't really want to go out too wide through here, I don't think, if we can help it. Keep it nice and neat, although, no, that's done it. That's ruined that lap. Yeah, if you end up having to have kind of a second go at turning into that corner, you're going to lose big chunks of time. I mean, the fact that we're still up in terms of overall lap speed suggests to me that there is still more time to be found in the Stinger. Oh, careful now into the final corner. Thankfully, as far as circuits go, I know a fair bit of this track, certainly the final corner and to an extent the braking into turn 1 from back in the Forza 6 days of the silly car builds. I ran this layout, or a similar layout at Virginia quite a lot, so I am used to bits of this circuit. I mean, this little infield section, quite a technical infield section, and of course the dirt is all new here, but it's not the track I am most unfamiliar with, that much is for sure. Not quite such a good run into the first corner this lap around, but a couple of tenths can easily be made up. Now, let's get the car across. We're trying to get it, out of that section. Really important to get it past the end of that tyre bundle in as neater a fashion as possible. Hairpin time we go. It's going to be a little bit more of a slide into it this time, trying not to have to fight it for a second bite at the steering. A little bit of wheel spin, and it's a little bit conky out the other side. Yeah, there's more speed to be had from the Stinger. This is a horrible bit of glare as we head into a very important and fast left-hander. Again, running a wheel across onto the dirt. We'll get away with that. Won't really cost us anything at that particular corner. And around the final turn we go. One more lap. One more lap in the Stinger. Need to get it right in the dirt hairpins. We're still stuck at the high 16s. As I said, I'm not sure we've got quite a second in this car, but I feel like there is a little bit more speed to be had. Big stops into turn 1. It's a little wide on the way in. However, we can perhaps recover it slightly with that later apex, and we didn't quite fall all the way off the circuit. We have lost a fair chunk of time. Fight the steering over the crest. I think there's going to be a tyre bundle involved there. Oh, it's all got a little bit wrong for the Stinger. It's all got a little bit wrong on this lap. Unless we can do miracles in this Well, in this dirt section, I mean, there is time to be found, of course, here. Can we get Stinger in? Oh, that felt quite neat, actually. We kind of lost a lot of speed mid-corner, but we might be able to make it work on the exit. It's not going to be enough. We found a tiniest little fraction of speed through all of that. Nah, try to make up half a second in a lap around here. It's just not quite going to work. It isn't the easiest car to get around here. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. My Stinger is not too bad at all around this circuit. It could be a lot more unwieldy, sorry, shall we say. But at the end of the day, it is going to fail to beat the Quattro. It is a second down on the Audi. But the big four-door Kia, you know, let's face it, not exactly designed as a rallycross car in the first place. This is kind of Quattro home territory. The much lighter Audi, the much grippier Audi, able to go faster than the Kia. It put up a good fight, and I definitely think that straight line speed, the acceleration from this will help it, but just couldn't quite get it through the dirt, and couldn't quite get through at some of the tarmac corners either, as quick as that Quattro will go. So, there we have it. The target time, the gauntlet is laid down by the Audi. Thank you very much, though, for watching, and until next time, goodbye.